Welcome to Sunday Sweet Chats. My name is Charles K. Carter, and I'm a queer poet with a new chapbook coming out from Finishing Line Press called Artificial Sweetness, which is available to pre-order now at finishinglinepress.com. But that's enough about me. Let's talk about our sweet guest today and talk about some sweet, sweet poetry. Hello, Monica. Welcome. Can you introduce yourself to our audience?
Hi, Charles. My name is Monica Prince, and I have an upcoming collection coming out in July called Roadmap. It's a choreo poem. I teach activist and performance writing at Susquehanna University, where I'm also the director of Africana Studies, and I'm also the managing editor for Santa Fe Writers Project. And yeah, that's mostly me. There's other stuff probably.
Just to dig into you a little deeper, since the
Yeah.
series is about sweetness, what satisfies your sugary urges when you have them?
Kettle corn. Kettle
Mhm.
corn is my go-to sweet treat. I like chocolate and pastries or whatever, but kettle corn is my favorite thing because I don't like regular popcorn, but like kettle corn, that is it. Like we have a Market Street Festival in town every single year, and one of the vendors makes the best kettle corn, and it's a whole moment. Like I roll up, I get my big bag, and then I walk through the whole rest of the festival with this massive bag of kettle corn. I eat nothing else, and it's totally fine. I have no regrets. So kettle corn, absolutely. Any version of kettle corn. I have these like popcorner things or like chips that taste like kettle corn, and those are fabulous. Like kettle
I think
corn,
I've
that
had
is
those
the.
chips. Those chips are delicious and very addicting.
I have a problem. I have like an Amazon like subscription to it. They show up like every 2 weeks. It's a little bit of a problem. It's fine.
We got to enjoy the sweet things in life. Talking about sweet things, let's segue into some sweet poetry. You're going to read a poem and talk about your new book coming out. Go for it.
Absolutely. So this poem is called Insomnia, Love, and the Black Man. And it is performed by Raven, who's one of the main characters of the show. She is the mother of our protagonist, Dorian. And she performs this poem with Dorian in the room, but she doesn't realize he's there. In the dark, my beloved sleeps easily. I can't imagine how. Prone to tears in public and clutching him desperately, I lie awake, counting my heartbeats in time to his inhale, exhale, inhale. As a child, white spaces enveloped me. I convinced myself that my dark body would fare safer in the presence of the oppressors. I was wrong. The first white boy I ever loved carried a knife to school every day, called it protection, should have called it a promise to bring a gun tomorrow. And then he did. He killed a boy his age over some weed, two in the chest, one in the head. Sounded like a rap song, a bad cop drama. I couldn't love him anymore after I saw what his hands were capable of, what they had always been able to do. What privilege, an inheritance he never questioned. Generations of bad behavior, entitlement, and misplaced rage taught him to solve fear with violence, to take what's his even if it doesn't belong to him. The last white man I ever loved did exactly what I expected him to do, what every story that starts with murder must include. He knew he could do whatever he wanted because every man before him had done the same thing. Of course, his body could rape and pillage. What else was it made for? This is not to say that white men cannot be loved, that colored girls like me cannot open for them, produce legacies of joy with them, plot new maps of uncharted territory where they can escape the damage they wreak. No, I mean, I cannot celebrate another loving day as someone's rebellious streak, risk a racist grandparent bleaching my baby's skin in the bathtub, defend a ballot cast in favor of my extermination. I mean, I fell in love with a Black man, and I don't think I'll sleep soundly ever again. I worry for my beloved Black man, asleep beside me, father of my child, someone's son and brother and friend. I want to keep loving him, to accept the probability that the anger of a bitter white man might force him out of my bed and into the ground too soon. Love isn't logical here, as it conquers the possibility of irrevocable loss. I can't help myself. He's just so miraculous. That's my
Wow,
poem.
thank you. That was beautiful. A choreo poem that's really exciting. but that poem just hit me. There's so much layered in there about race and identity. And I mean, earlier on, kind of those comments almost about, the hypermasculinity and mental health in our country, and the line about like a bad cop drama or something like that, that
Yeah.
just felt
Hmm.
so real because all the crap going on in our country right now, it kind of
Hmm.
feels like that. Like, is this a movie? Like, this can't be real.
It really does feel like a movie. Every day I wake up, I'm like, oh, what's happening today?
The headlines are
Yeah,
just unreal, crazy,
seriously.
and you
I feel
you
like fiction
capture
writers going to be out of a job soon.
capture that very well. Can you talk about the book, and maybe if people don't know exactly what a choreo poem is, can you give us a little
Absolutely.
intro to
Of
that?
course. Oh, yeah. So, a choreo poem is a choreographed series of poems that includes performance poetry, dance, music, live art, parkour, yoga, podcasts, voiceovers, memes, video, like vines, whatever. Any kind of performance media you have rolled in together and thrown on stage like a play. And the first one was created by Entisaki Shange with her show for colored girls who have considered suicide when the rainbow is enough, which came out in 1975. And a lot of people have now continued the tradition by writing their own choreo poems. I got to see one last weekend by Jessica Care Moore called Salt City. It was amazing. And so this choreo poem, this is my second published choreo poem. It focuses on Dorian, who is a young Black man who is navigating what the CDC alleges is his most likely cause of death, which for Black men aged 15 to 34 will be homicide. So he's trying to prevent himself from being murdered. And he does that by interrogating his family tree. He sees his grandmother, he sees his parents. He talks about his pansexuality and polyamory with his partners, and it's a wild ride. It's a wild ride, and he's guided through this entire process by an omniscient muse named the novelist.
That is so cool and sounds so exciting. And Jessica Care Moore is amazing. I've never seen any performance work, but just reading her books, she's a very talented poet.
Spectacular, so spectacular. It was great. It was so great. But
So
yeah.
this collection's coming out in book form. Is there any prospects to doing a performance of it in some form or fashion?
Yeah, so currently I serve as there's another thing I'm doing. I serve as the playwright in residence for the Paterson Performing Arts Development Council in Paterson, New Jersey. So they have taken Roadmap and they are going to fully produce it, choreograph it, stage it in June, like a week before the show comes out, or before the book comes out, which I'm super excited about. I actually have a production meeting with them tomorrow to talk about casting and choreography. So excited. It's going to be amazing. And then I'm hoping to do some like smaller mini performances of pieces of the show around the country during my book tour. So our official book launch is on July 1st. And so I'm doing a launch party performance at White Whale Bookstore in Pittsburgh on that night. And that's going to be amazing. And there's like a bunch of other events lined up all across the country with the opportunity to perform and watch it live. So that's going to be great.
That sounds so cool. I'm just I think as like the theater nerd in me, like I grew up doing theater, but then like, that wasn't really a promising revenue to continue. I kind of
Yeah.
leaned into poetry, and it's like, which is so isolated at times, which I think is
Right.
why I'm like doing this series to connect with people. And I mean, there's so much to get out of collecting with people in a creative fashion, and that just sounds like such a fun avenue to explore the choreo poem.
Absolutely. I teach it as a class at Susquehanna right now, and currently we are rehearsing our latest show, which the students they read and analyze choreo poems and then they write their own. And the one that they are performing that they wrote is called "Can We Skip This Part?" And the whole show it's a huge commentary on societal issues that contribute to negative mental health. So it takes place at the Sunny Smile Psychiatric Ward, where every sunny day demands a smile. And it's a bunch of different patients who are dealing with like huge issues that cannot be cured by therapy and medication. Like dealing with we have a non-binary trans queer person who's been admitted for being queer, and then we have a Black woman who's been admitted for dealing with racism, and we have another character who's been admitted for religious trauma, and another who's been admitted for grief, and the last one has been admitted for substituting her personality with social media. And so she's like constantly just all about Instagram and all about like Twitter and everything instead of being a person. So it's gonna be a wild show. There's a whole song in the middle called Good Vibes Only where they just sing about toxic positivity. It's gonna be great. I'm excited. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
That sounds amazing.
I'm very proud of these students. They're gonna do a great job.
Do you have anything else exciting going on you want to talk to us about today before we wrap up?
No, I will be at the Washington Writers Conference in May, May 12th and 13th. It's at the Bethesda North Marriott in Maryland. Everyone come through, Rockville, Maryland. That's where it is. And no, you can pre-order my book from Santa Fe Writers Project or Amazon or Barnes & Noble or wherever books are sold. Feel free to please pre-order the book. Pre-orders are important, people, because I'm a pre-order Charles's book right now.
Yes, and I will make sure to get links for you. We'll put that in the video description so that's easily accessible to everyone.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much for your time today, Monica. It's been a sweet treat to have you.
I'm so excited. This is so much fun.
Thank you so much. Thanks for being here. Goodbye, everyone. My name is Charles K. Carter, and I hope to catch you next Sunday for another episode of Sunday Sweet Chats. Have a good one, everyone.